You know how major wars start. World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, so many others. They begin with tit for tats. They begin with Trump 13 months ago, last April, bombing one airbase with no evidence of the Syrians launching a chemical attack. And then a year later, he bombs dozens of targets with no evidence of WMDs. Now, to his credit, last week, a month after those illegal strikes, they defunded the White Helmets, who are ISIS, even though they have a Netflix show and Hollywood loves them. Hollywood loved the Arab Spring. Our government defunded the White Helmets and confirmed that they had staged the fourth chemical attack. But unlike the first three where they launched real chemicals to blame it on Assad, who was winning, the fourth time it didn't even happen. So Assad's winning. The Russians are pulling out. The U.S. is pulling out a month ago. And then magically this chemical weapons attack happened. Gee, are you surprised it's confirmed it was fake? Even CBS News. So Trump doubles down yesterday afternoon and says, well, we see Iran with this bad nuclear deal, which is true. And we see the things they're doing. We can't have a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. So we're going to look at some sanctions down the road if they don't come to the table and renegotiate. I'm like, well, that's reasonable. And then an hour after Trump finishes that speech, Israel fires a bunch of cruise missiles at a big air base south of Damascus, the capital of Syria, killing a bunch of Iranian troops who'd come into the country at the behest of Syria to defeat al-Qaeda and ISIS that John McCain, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Hussein Obama brought into the country. And our own military had said that was wrong. And Rand Paul had said it was wrong. And Ted Cruz had said it was wrong. Remember all that? We don't have amnesia here if we decide to have memories. Now, if you just joined us, there have been more than 20 missiles fired into Israel as we're speaking. This is happening. No damage reports yet. 3 minutes ago before I went live, we had an ICBM fired out of Yemen that blew up when anti-missile missiles stopped it this morning. That's one of 6 missiles we know of. There's firefights all over Saudi Arabia. They're in a civil war. There are firefights and ISIS al-Qaeda forces relaunching attacks all over Syria. This is a Sunni, that's the Islamic group, 80% of Islam backed by Saudi Arabia, and a Shiite civil war. They're 19% of Islam. 10% are the Alawites, or 1% are the Alawites. 19% are Shiite, 80% are Sunni, Wahhabist, 1% are Alawites. So that's all going on right now, this huge civil war. And you turn on U.S. News, you go to CNN, there's no coverage. A little bit on Fox, some on Drudge, some on Infowars. So I was about to leave at 5:30, 10 minutes ago, and all this starts coming in. And when I covered it last night, most of the comments said, you're making it up. Israel didn't attack Syria. It's not on the news. And I went to CNN, and there was nothing. CBS, ABC, MSNBC, nothing. I was getting Al Jazeera, Der Spiegel. IDF, Iranian forces fired 20 rockets at Israel. Iron Dome intercept some. Israel military, Iran's Qud forces launched 20 rockets from Syria Golan Post. Some were intercepted. So here's the deal. You have a war when we're bombing Syria and bombing Iranian forces, and they're launching ICBMs at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, the capital, and rockets are coming into Israel. Usually, if one rocket gets fired, it's all over the news. It's not happening right now. I checked right before I went live. It's just, look at the volcanoes in Hawaii, or, oh, look, Trump's lawyer got money from AT&T and Novartis. Those aren't Russians, and it's all legal. So that's a really bad sign when they don't even want you to know a war's going on. That means it's really, really serious. So pray for peace. I'm not anti-Israel. I'm not anti-Iran. I know they've got beefs with each other. I know the Shiites and the Sunnis have beefs. I'm not part of this civil war. I just want America and free market and my country back. I don't want to be drugged into foreign entanglements that George Washington talked about. But this is a big deal. For all intents and purposes, by every yardstick, a new war, not through proxies, but direct, between Israel and Iran has begun. And I think that's a big news story. And Trump signaled sanctions and things, which I think are reasonable because Iran has cheated on the deal, and that's been taken by Israel as a green light for a major war. So when you go to bed tonight, remember, you could wake up when a huge war is going on, attacking Russian forces in Syria, and Iran could weigh in, and they're a lot more dangerous than Iraq, times 10. This could explode really fast.